Hello and welcome back to Assorted Beefs, where I talk about anything I want to that doesn't fit into niche tea for any particular reason. We're talking about FlowerWall Gate. Happy Tuesday, here's your George Tax. As you know, I am supporting another group of people who are looking to get some help so that they can get to safety. This is through Operation Olive Branch and alongside another creator named Colleen. We've been able to make a little bit of traction on this. This is again in support of 15 people, so I'm hugely appreciative. If you are able to contribute anything, that would mean the world to me and to them. If not, I completely understand. If you would consider boosting, that would be amazing. Okay, so odds are you've seen what is the initial video in this from a woman named Daisy about a woman named Leora. Daisy owns a flower wall company, so literally walls with flowers on them for decorative purposes, for events, stuff like that. Her products and services were bought by Leora for an event Leora was event managing. The event, I believe, was on Sunday, June 2nd. I want to say last Tuesday the 4th, Daisy posted a video that has like 1.7 million views now about Leora and about saying how Leora scammed her. Leora then posted a response from her perspective, and then both of them went back and forth for a while. I think it has concluded. The neutral general timeline of what happened is that Leora hired Daisy. So Daisy's working for Leora, not Leora's clients. I've seen this start to happen more and more with like weddings and other larger events where the coordinator is the one who is entering in the contract with the vendor instead of the coordinator managing the contract and still having the contract be between their clients, the actual people who are holding the event, and the vendors, and it always seems like a mistake. But that's my opinion. So Leora hires Daisy. Daisy and her team come set up the flower walls. This takes a couple of days. Right before or like very early on in the event, so there weren't a ton of people up there, but stuff was starting to happen, one of the flower walls falls. Leora is unable to get in contact with Daisy, so Leora has staff or whomever is available at the place take down the flower walls and store them at a dock. That's basically it, but between the two accounts of what happened and the back and forth since, there are 3 points of contention. One is that according to Leora, the flower walls were supposed to look like one cohesive piece when they were up, and they very clearly had different colors of flowers and didn't look like that. So while they were setting up, Leora told Daisy, these don't look the same. You need to be blending these flowers across the walls so that it looks cohesive. To which Daisy said, that's going to cost an additional $2,000 to do because we've got to do it and then undo it. And Leora says that in addition to the flower walls falling during the event, she had to allegedly lend like 6 of her own people to help Daisy actually blend out these flower walls, which in her opinion was the thing she had already thought she paid for. So she doesn't want to pay the $2,000 at all. Daisy says from the get-go, it was always clear that these were different flower walls that would be next to each other and would look like one wall with different flowers on them, not that they were built to be one. She shows her invoice to Leora and it has pictures of each wall that she bought, and you can see that they're all different. And Daisy basically accuses Leora of trying to scam her way into getting a custom flower wall made, which normally costs more, for the standard price of a regular pre-made flower wall. I haven't seen any response from Daisy about Leora's accusation that her team had to do the work of blending the walls, though. That was actually 2 of the things together. So the first was just the misunderstanding around the flower wall, and I do think based on some of the communication that the wording could be interpreted either way in some instances, so I can chalk that up to just a misunderstanding of what the expectation was there. And the second would be the any additional owed money. So the original invoice for the flower wall rentals was fully paid, but there's an additional $2,000 for the blending and the labor, but then the thing fell, and then, you know, does she owe her money, etc. And then the third piece was that Daisy accused Leora of not returning the flower walls that fell that had to be taken out by the staff. Daisy shows messages she sent Leora on Monday after the event asking where the flower walls are, or like, I need them, and saying she needs to pick them up, with no response from Leora. Leora shows messages as early as Sunday explaining to Daisy that they're at the dock or in storage or whatever, where they are, and asking her when she wants to pick them up. People have kind of turned back on Daisy on that one. Like, Leora clearly said, here's where they are, and asked when you wanted to pick them up. So what I think happened is that on Sunday, Leora was trying to get in touch with Daisy and sent her that stuff saying like, here's where it is, which is cool and all. But then when Daisy responded on Monday, I don't see any responses from Leora at that point. So either Leora just didn't see them or was annoyed or whatever. But I did see Daisy say, I want to pick them up at 10:30 on Monday. And then at like 11, she's like, I need to pick up my flower walls. And Daisy did post a video of her eventually picking up the flower walls. She's not even allowed to go in the building. Someone else had to be there and bring them out to her, and and then she would put them into her truck. So I think it's simply that it's not enough to know where they are. She needed Leora's coordination in order to physically pick them up. So when Leora allegedly stopped responding to her on Monday, Daisy was like, "You are keeping my flower walls from me. It doesn't matter that I know where they are. I cannot get them." And according to Daisy, then Leora only started being responsive once Daisy posted her initial video, and Leora started getting a lot of backlash from it. So recapping, the event happened, the wall fell, Leora couldn't get in touch with Daisy, and then Daisy couldn't get in touch with Leora. Daisy posted her video, which seemed to have the major goal of just getting her walls back, which she eventually did because Leora started responding once she saw how viral that first video went. So Daisy has her walls. She alleges they were destroyed. I don't know how to tell through a video what they should look like. Daisy still claims that she's owed money for the additional blending and all that stuff. I think that's, I don't know. They're going to have to probably settle that in court. Daisy was also doing a GoFundMe that was for like 50 grand. And I think it was more to just take on Leora generally, because Daisy was also allegedly getting messages from other small vendors in the LA area about Leora because she has a bit of a history, allegedly, with this type of stuff. But once Daisy got her flower walls back, she alleges that she has refunded and shut down the GoFundMe. I personally find myself leaning toward Daisy on this. I do think she was very clear from the get-go that these would not be blended, but that they would look like one wall with different flowers on it. And I get the impression that Leora is the type of person who kind of gets a general idea of what she wants and doesn't really pay enough attention to specific details because she's probably doing too many things at once. And just given her position and the work that she does, I just believe that she's somebody who gets very stressed and makes her stress everyone else's problems for things that like she should have been in charge of, and she makes it the vendor's issue to figure out. That is speculation. I've obviously never worked with her, but I do think the alleged number of other small businesses who have come forward to complain about Leora when they've seen this is telling. I think it at the very least speaks to the fact that Leora is probably kind of difficult to work with.